again, it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Franky Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Franky Rose.
Hey guys, welcome to the Think Tank. So we are on day 7. Ole, ole, ole. Oh, wow, Mexi. First. I appreciate that. How you doing? Thank you guys for coming back so fast. Oh, Lordy. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to this because I want to see this dickwad on the stand. I really, really do. So with that said, let's do this. Back so soon. Good to see you, my dandy Tracy, catching up. That was a fast bounce. I appreciate it. Okay, I'll go down there. I'll do that. No. I'll go over here. Boom.
Mr. Smestad.
Will you state your name and spell your last name, please?
My name is Victor Frolov. First name Victor, V-A-C-T-O-R, last name F-R-O-L-O-F-F.
And what's your occupation?
I'm an assistant medical examiner for Ramsey County.
And generally, what
Hold
are your...
on. Is there a cell phone? I hear music. Please turn. All right. Maybe you should step out. All right, you got it. Again, it's amazed. I am amazed that we've gotten this far in the trial without a cell phone. So I compliment you all. But please make sure all devices are turned off. They can be a distraction to the attorneys and the witnesses during their important work. Mr. Smestad.
Dr. Frolov, what are your general duties as a medical examiner?
Buckle up.
We have multiple duties. I was hired by Dr. Mills to perform autopsy. Autopsy is examination of the dead bodies. Of course, we have to sign the death certificates. When physician refused to sign, we approve all cremations in the state of Minnesota. And of course, I have to do autopsy. I have to express my opinion about cause and manner of the death. And sometimes I have to give my opinion about cause and manner of the death in the court.
Are you occasionally asked by St. Croix County to complete autopsies for deaths that occur in St. Croix County?
Yes, St. Croix County, it's our neighbors across the river, so they usually send cases, complicated cases to us.
How long have you been a medical examiner?
My official position, assistant medical examiner, I employed in this position for 19 years.
I can approach your honor.
Yes.
Doctor, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 61. Recognize that document?
Yes, Exhibit 61, it's a hard copy of my CV.
By CV, you mean curriculum vitae?
That's correct.
Does it set forth your credentials, training, that type of thing?
Yes.
Does it also set forth teaching jobs you've had and publications that you've contributed to or wrote yourself?
Yes.
Can you please just summarize your education?
I'm a physician for like 39 years. I graduated medical school. I did 1 year of internship in internal medicine. I practiced emergency medicine for many years. And 30 years ago, I immigrated to the United States. Basically, I have to start all over. So I passed all my tests. I decided I'd like to do forensic pathology. In order to do forensic pathology, you need to do some specialized training. I graduated from University of Minnesota in pathology, and I did 2 fellowships in Milwaukee. So I trained in Wisconsin. So it's Medical College of Wisconsin and Milwaukee County Medical Examiner Office. And I get back to in Minnesota.
Have you been working at the Ramsey County Medical Examiner's Office? You said 19 years. Has that been continuously with Ramsey County?
Yeah, I don't work for Ramsey County. I work for Dr. Mills, who's a Ramsey County medical examiner. She hired me to perform autopsy, but yes, continuously for 19 years, yes.
Do you have a general idea of how many autopsies you performed at that time?
I don't count autopsies anymore. It's over 4,000 autopsies. And now it's approximately rate 300 autopsies per year.
Can you tell the jury what the field of pathology entails? What's all involved with it?
Pathology, it's a branch of the medicine study, basically nature of the disease, such as cancer, for example.
And what's forensic pathology?
Forensic pathology and forensic pathologists use medical knowledge in legal cases, unusual deaths, unusual circumstance, and violent deaths.
And are you licensed to practice medicine?
I have full 2 and unrestricted licenses for state of Minnesota and state of Wisconsin.
And obviously is performing autopsies on folks that have been killed. That's part of your duties?
Yes, we perform, we involve an investigation and perform an autopsy in a homicidal death.
For those who might not know, can you describe what an autopsy is?
Autopsy, it's a complex procedure. First of all, we like to know what happened with the body. Second, I perform external examination. At the time of the external examination, we collect trace evidence, DNA, sexual assault kit, some other, specimens if I have to. Then I perform internal examination of the body. It's called evisceration. Basically, we open body, we look for damage, we look for any type of injuries, we look for diseases. At the same time, I'm taking photographs. And another large part of the autopsy, it's performing toxicology. At the time of the examination, we collect body fluids, such as blood, bile. We collect urine if it's available. We collect fluid from eyes, called vitreous humor. And I collect tissue samples for toxicology, such as liver.
Did you perform an autopsy on Isaac Schumann back in 2022?
I performed autopsy on Isaac Schumann on July 31st, 2022. You're correct, yes.
And do you prepare reports regarding, or did you prepare reports regarding the autopsy that you completed of Isaac Schumann?
Yes, we usually issue like provisional reports, like my initial diagnosis, initial thinking, without toxicology, is the same day. And when I'm done with full investigation and toxicology, I sign a final autopsy report.
I can approach, Your Honor.
Yes.
Weren't you guys surprised at how well Ernesto, I think that was his name, how well he talked English to those cops? That blew me away. I figured they had to know a hell of a lot more. Unreal. They didn't need any translator. I was like, what? Lordy, lordy.
They're all muted.
Yeah, something else. I bet you every single one of them could understand as well as Ernesto. I bet. I mean, the one woman doesn't even know how to, she's married to the fellow and she doesn't even know how to speak the same language? No. No. I'm not sure what time Nickel Dick there is going to get on to the stand, but I am looking forward to seeing it. And how rude his group of tubers are. It's like, are you kidding me?
Mark is exhibit
Do you realize a kid
number 60.
passed?
You
Oi.
recognize that document?
Yes, Exhibit 60, it's again hard copy of my provisional report.
Is that the report you do before the toxicologies come back?
That is correct.
I'll show you what's been marked as Exhibit 17. I'll ask if you recognize that.
Exhibit 17, it's again hard copy of my final autopsy protocol.
Can I ask you some questions about those documents, Doctor? When you did the autopsy of Isaac Schumann, did you follow your normal autopsy protocol that you described earlier?
Yes, we follow, some general rules, yes.
Did you complete an external examination of his body?
Yes.
What findings did you make on the external examination of his body?
Before I start external examination of the body, I just need to tell you that I got body from the hospital. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. He had a medical, we call artifacts. He had a tube inside of his oral cavity, just helping to breathe. He had 2 IV lines, intravascular access, but it was inserted in his bones. And he had a multiple surgical packing material saturated with the blood, and I observed body on my table. There was some blood present on his body, and I observed sharp wounds injury to his left chest.
Bzzzt. I see it.
Did you take photographs during your external examination of Isaac's body?
Yes, I did. I tend to take, many photographs.
Did you complete an internal examination of Isaac's body?
Yes.
And is that part of the usual autopsy procedure?
Yes, you're correct.
Can you summarize the results of your internal examination of Isaac's body?
Sure. As I said, I observed sharp wound injury to his left chest. Later, I classified this wound as a stab wound. Stab wound, basically it's a sharp wound injury. Stab wound when the depth of the wound exceeds the length of the wound on the skin. So it was stab wound to the left chest. The stab wound penetrated to his left chest cavity. He had a damage, I call it sharp wound injury to his 5th and 6th ribs on the left chest cavity. Then wound kind of continues and go to the left lung. I was able to identify sharp wound injury to the lower lobe of the left lung. He had a blood in his left chest cavity. I recovered 200 cubic centimeters. It's approximately a glass of the blood in his left chest cavity. And he had damage, sharp wound injury to his pericardium. Pericardium, it's a coverage, kind of like sac around his heart. And he had a sharp wound injury to the apex of the heart. Apex, it's a pointy part of the heart, like he had a damage, sharp wound injury to the left ventricle of the heart. And he had a condition, and I identified this condition on the X-ray I performed before autopsy. He had a condition called pneumothorax. Pneumothorax is present of the air in the chest cavity. So 2 conditions, pneumothorax, air, and hemothorax present on the blood. And his organs, midline organs, was kind of shifted to the right. It's called deviation to the right. It's because it's collection of the air in the left chest cavity.
I can report you again, Your Honor.
Yes, you may.
Doctor, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 24. And I'll ask if you recognize that document, or yes, that group of documents.
Yes, Exhibit 24, it's hard copy of some of my images I took at the time of the examination.
Those are the photographs you took during your examination of Isaac Schumann.
Some of them, yes.
All right, and I want to go through this page by page.
Yes, you may.
Wow, just terrible what this guy did. He was not scared for 2 seconds. Everything he did, in my personal opinion, was completely intentional. I think where he hit, how he hit, all of that stuff was done with a purpose. Lordy, lordy. Stretches out on the tube, nothing was. Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? So would I. Yeah, so would I. I mean, he's been like a statue the whole time. I think probably the only thing you see him move is his eyes, and we don't get to see that part. Hmm. Come on, or I'll speed up over you. We want to see what's going on.
Dr. Froloff, I'm going to go through each of the 12 photos that are in Exhibit 24. Page 1, what is that a photo of?
I believe it's page 1. It's a hard copy of the swim trunk or swimsuit, which I took from the body.
Was Isaac Schumann wearing anything else other than the swim trunks when you received his body?
No.
Page 2, can you tell us what that is?
Page 2, that's image of the body taken from the left side. So the gentleman that's on my table, I took this photographs. He covered by medical, just basically hospital type of sheath. His hands covered by brown bags.
Why are his hands covered, if you know?
This is part of the requirement. In cases for suspicious cases, we ask law enforcement or medical personnel cover hands with bag to protect trace evidence, because we have to collect trace evidence at the time of the autopsy. So it's part of the standard procedure.
All right, page 3, what does that show?
I hope we're on the same page. I believe this is when I took a bag from his hands. This is image of the wrist, left wrist, and I just document that he had it's my name tag, and it's hospital number. He was ID by hospital number, and he had a golden collar chain or bracelet on his left wrist.
When his body came to you, did he have that bracelet on?
Yes, actually, I recovered later. It was because his hands were a bag, but he had a bracelet, yes.
All right, page 4, can you tell us what that is?
Page 4, I believe this is image of the back of his right hand.
Page 5.
Page 5, that's again, it's a photograph of the front of his right hand.
Page 6.
Page 6, it's a photograph of the front of his right hand. I just trying to take a picture on the different angle to see, how it turns.
All right, and then page 7, can you tell us what that is?
Page 7, it's a hard copy of the image of his left hand, back of his left hand.
And then page 8.
Page 8, it's again image of the front of his left hand.
Page 9, can you tell us what that is?
Page 9. On the page 9, when we collect trace evidence, again, I wash a body and photograph body again. This is picture of the front of his body, anterior chest. We call it anterior chest, but basically front of the body. In his left chest, you can see oblique. It's meaning running at the angle. Sharp was injury. In this case, it's a stab wound to the left chest. Under this wound, he had a small, I had a hard time to subclassify tiny kind of like abrasion. I described in the final report that this is abrasion. It's very superficial injuries. And this sharp was injury, it's fairly large. I measure it 10 centimeters. It's approximately 3.9 inches in length.
The next page, can you tell us what that is?
Next page, that's a close-up of his stab wound to the left chest. It's located below the left nipple. And again, just close up. I just want to show jury, defense attorney, prosecutor, that this is indeed sharp was injury, and both ends of the wound is sharp. That could be important in some cases to describe exact, details of the stab wound.
On the next page, is that from your internal examination of Isaac's body?
Next page, yes, that's a image of the left chest. When I remove his skin from the left chest, I observed that he had a sharp force injury to 2 ribs. So 2 ribs was completely kind of like transected. So weapon went through his rib cage. Just want to show you that it's damage of the 2 ribs.
I make sure I understand you, Dr. Froloff. When you say that his ribs were transected, what do you mean by that?
It's a sharp force injury to the ribs.
And what was the damage to the ribs?
It's completely cut. Well, I can say cut off.
How many ribs were completely cut?
2.
All right. On the next page, if you can tell us what that is.
Next page, it's again a hard copy of the image of the heart. I mentioned to you when I examined his body, I observed that he had a sharp force injury to the apex of the heart. It's like pointy part of the heart. So I measure it's 5 centimeters. It's approximately 2 inches in length.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask for permission to publish the photos to the jury. It's my intention just to give the hard copies to the jurors rather than putting anything on the screen.
Mr. Nelson, any objection to Exhibit 24?
Yes, as we discussed, but I understand Your Honor's ruling.
Yes, I've overruled the objection. We can talk more later. Members of the jury, Mr. Smestad is going to hand you the paper photographs from Dr. Froloff's examination. The photographs are evidence. Consider it as much as your sensibilities allow. It may be difficult to look at, so if you need to avert your eyes or set it aside, you may do so, but it is evidence, and I ask that you consider it as much as you are able to. Please share the photos.
Thank you, Your Honor. Go back in the order they were in. It's clear.
Be a good idea to have them stapled so they don't become shuffled. Or paginate them.
Dr. Froloff, were any laboratory tests performed as part of the autopsy process?
Yes, I performed full toxicology on this gentleman.
And what were the results of the toxicology that was done for Isaac Schumann?
He was positive for ethanol and BAC, blood alcohol concentration. It's 0.219.
Did he have any other substances in his blood?
No, there is no other substances or drugs.
In your field, forensic pathology, what does the term cause of death refer to?
We have to express opinion about causes of death. Basically, it's how people die in the case of, for example, people die from heart attack. That's cause of the death.
And what does the term manner of death mean in your field?
In matter of the death, it's how cause of the death came to be. And in the case of the heart attack, that's going to be natural death.
Based on the autopsy you performed of Isaac Schumann, were you able to determine a cause of death?
Yes.
And what was this cause of death?
In my opinion, cause of the death is stab wound to the left chest.
And based on the autopsy you performed of Isaac's body, were you able to determine a manner of death?
Yes.
And what was that conclusion?
In my opinion, manner of the death, in this case, it's a homicide.
Your Honor, I don't have any other questions for the doctor. I'm going to move, pardon me. As part of your examination of Isaac, did you measure his height and weight?
Yes, we measure length of the body, not heights, but length of the body and weight, yes.
What was the length of the body and the weight for Isaac Schumann?
He was weighted 134 pounds.
Do you remember how tall he was, how long he was?
And again, we measure length of the body. It's a little bit different than height, 6.1.
And the evidence that you gathered from Mr. Schumann, was that turned over to the sheriff's office?
I believe, evidence, and we collect, the trace evidence in this case was released to, I believe, on the 2nd of August to sheriff's office, yes.
Did you, as part of your examination of Isaac, take any DNA samples?
Again, in every case, we collect, in this case, we collect sexual assault kit, but basically we collect hair, buccal swabs inside of the oral cavity called buccal swabs, suitable for DNA, yes.
Were those items also turned over to the sheriff's department?
I believe so, yes.
And getting back to the injury to Isaac's chest, you measure how deep that injury is?
Yes, I measure depth of the wound. It's 11 centimeters. It's approximately 4.3 inches.
I don't have any other questions, Your Honor. I'm going to move for admission of Exhibit 24, 61. Two on the bench here, if I can approach.
24 is already received. Any objection to 61? I think that's the preliminary
No
report.
objection to the CV.
17 is 60.
Oh, excuse me, 61 was the CV. That's received. What was the other exhibit?
60 is the provisional report, no objection. 17 is the final report, no objection.
Both received.
Thank you.
Mr. Nelson.
You're a medical examiner?
Good morning, Counselor. I'm not a medical examiner, official position, assistant medical examiner.
In general, your role is you're a medical examiner. I understand you have a title and a position, but your role is you're an ME, right?
I'm an assistant medical examiner, yes, for Ramsey County. That's official position.
Okay. And you're here to tell us essentially two things. One is that Isaac Schumann's deceased, right?
He
You
was.
agree with that?
Yes, I agree. He was deceased before I started autopsy. Yes.
And another, essentially what you're here to say is how he died, correct?
Yes.
As you said, you want to know what happened, correct?
We like to know what happened. Yes.
And as part of that, you do an autopsy, you examine the body, correct?
Yes.
Because sometimes that helps to figure out what happened, correct?
You're correct. Yes.
You would agree that it's unusual in your field to like have a video of what happened. Agreed?
Well, lately we have more and more videos because everything on cameras. But yes, sometimes videos taken at the time of the incident. Yes.
And obviously, you would agree that a video is helpful for all of us to determine what happened, right?
Again, my job to determine cause and matters of death, express my opinion, and videos sometimes important. Yes.
Did you see the video in this case?
I did not observe any videos.
Have you ever observed any photos or frames from that video?
I prefer not to. I was not offered, but I was told by prosecution that video available, but I denied. I didn't observe video.
Okay. And again, just to summarize, your opinion is he died due to a penetrating stab wound to his left chest, correct?
In the final report, I said exsanguination, basically bleeding to the death, to the stab wound to the left chest. You're correct.
Medical examiners, even assistant medical examiners, is there a board certification process for that position?
It depends on which field. Yes.
Okay. In your field, there's a board certification process, sir?
Yes.
Are you board certified?
I'm a diplomat of the American Board of Medical Legal Death Investigators.
Are you board certified as a medical examiner?
There is no board certification for medical examiners, board certification for forensic pathology.
You talked about manner of death and cause of death. Is that right?
Yes.
And I think just so we know, again, just cause of death is stab wound to the left chest in simple terms, correct?
You are correct. Yes.
And then the manner is, as you said, how that cause came to be. Agreed?
Yes.
And that's a medical term, correct?
It's a forensic term. Yes.
A forensic medical term, correct?
Sure.
It's not a legal term, correct?
It's not a legal term. No.
And the cause of death, there are essentially, you have 5 options?
No, for manner of the death, we have.
Yes.
For
I
cause of
apologize.
death, it's indefinitive. For manner of the death, we have limited options. Yes.
Absolutely. So manner of death, there's limited options. Only 5?
We can choose from the natural death, accidental death, suicidal death, homicidal death. And if I cannot determine, I can say it's undetermined death. You're correct.
Okay. So there is no determination that you can make, that you're qualified to do, as to whether or not the homicide occurred as a result of self-defense. Agreed?
Oh, I never testified that it's self-defense or as an issue. Homicide, basically, from forensic point of view, it's meaning life taken by another person.
Sure. And again, that's outside of your field, whether it's self-defense. Agreed?
Yes, I never testified about self-defense. Yes.
Okay. In this situation, you examined Isaac Schumann's body, and part of that was the toxicology. Is that right?
Yes.
And you determined that his blood alcohol concentration was 0.219. Agreed?
It's not me, it's a lab.
A lab that you rely on and you in your work, correct?
Yes.
So based upon your relying on that lab, you agree his blood alcohol concentration was 0.219.
That's correct.
And you're aware that the legal limit for adults permitted to drink alcohol is 0.08, correct?
In the state of Wisconsin, driving legal limit, it's 0.08. You're correct.
So this would be over 2.5 times the legal limit, correct?
Yes.
Now, you talked about the wound and you described that. Agreed?
Yes.
The manner in which somebody would receive a stab wound is a dynamic process. You agree?
You're correct. Yes.
There would be, you're not here to tell anybody about the amount of force that was used to cause that wound. Agreed?
It's usually hard to determine force apply in the cases like that. Yes.
And part of the reason that it's hard to determine is because the process is so dynamic, correct?
Oh, it's not just dynamic. It's nature of the weapon and so on and so on.
And at least part of it, and I understand there might be more complications, part of it is that it might be one object going into another object. It might be two objects moving towards each other, correct? Those are at least two of the possible dynamics involved.
If you mean objects, it's humans, right?
Correct. And I
People.
apologize. A person
And person.
and the knife. You're absolutely right. I apologize. You agree?
It's dynamic process. Yes.
And so part of that, to try to measure, if one was to try to think about that force, you'd have to know whether the person who's receiving that wound, in what direction they're moving, correct?
It's so many things you need to
Absolutely.
consider. Yes.
You would agree, though, if the person receiving the wound is moving towards the knife, that's going to impact how the injury occurs. Agreed?
Yes.
If the person receiving the wound is reaching out, that's going to impact the wound that is received.
I can't speculate because, it's possibility, but again, I'm here to express opinion about cause and matters of this. And I never, observed this incident. Sure, but again, it's really hard to tell what happened because I don't know what happened exactly.
I understand, but you were here to say a certain depth of the wound, and that was something that you pointed out to the jury, correct?
Depth of the wound, it's easy to measure, and
Absolutely.
it's objective kind of things.
Sure. So you would agree, though, it's fair for me to ask you questions about how it may have came to be that the wound became that deep. That's a fair question. You agree?
Sure.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Are you fine with that?
Until, some points, yes.
Yeah. And so that may have occurred if a body is moving towards that knife. That's going to impact the depth of the wound. Agreed?
Yes.
If a 6'1", 130-pound, 34 person is moving towards into that knife, that might make the knife go deeper, correct?
It's again, I can't predict how deep exactly, but it's possibility, yes.
Sure. And certainly if that person, 6'1", 134 pounds, is falling forward, so all their weight is going forward onto that knife, that's going to impact the force as well, correct?
That's a possibility, yes.
And certainly if the person who's holding the knife is falling backwards, that might impact the force involved to the wound, correct?
My guess, so it's possibility, yes.
And if the person with holding the knife who's falling backward, if they only reach out a small amount, that's going to impact the force that causes the depth of the wound, correct?
As I said, it's so many variables, I can't speculate. It's, I don't know. I'm in pathology again. I have to express opinion on the cause and manner of this, and this is just like what potential could happen if I don't have a straight answer.
Correct. And part of what you do in medicine is sometimes you come up with a hypothesis, right?
I don't come with the with hypothesis. It's just like I can official like statement. Like depth of the wound could be, like deeper than length of the blade, or shorter, or it's going to be equal. This is clear questions I can't answer. But what's potential happen at the time of the incident? It's endless possibilities. I don't know.
And you agree that the possibilities that I talked with you about, those are reasonable possibilities that if someone were to try to consider the force, should be considered. Agreed?
Sure.
Those are the only questions I have.
Mr. Smestad?
Nothing further.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Frolau. You may step down.
Am I excused, Your
You
Honor?
are excused. Yes.
Thank you.
How's everyone doing? Anybody need a short recess? Everyone looks okay?
Judge, I'd suggest a break now. Sorry.
The next witness, I think, will be lengthy, so it might be a good idea to take up.
Okay. In that event, then let's recess for 10 minutes. We'll come back at 8:55.
And here we go.
We're going to play the entire interview from the very start until the interview ends when Lieutenant Hart leaves. There's like approximately 15 minutes or so after that where the camera keeps running that we're not going to play. But it incorporates part, going over Miranda with MU. So I just want to make sure there's not going to be any questions suggesting that his right to an attorney was violated. It's irrelevant. The court has already ruled that it wasn't. That he waived knowingly, intelligently his right to counsel.
Who wants to speak?
I wasn't planning on challenging a Miranda issue at this point. I do think, however, that the video should be played in its entirety. And what I mean by that is there's a period of time where the video is still running. Lieutenant Hart leaves the room and Mr. Mew is speaking on the tape. And he makes some statements on that. There's no reason that the jury shouldn't get to hear those. They're relevant. They go to his state of mind. And I'm asking that the court, if they're going to play the tape, they play the entirety of the tape. I'm going to play it if they don't play it, I guess. And I think that the rule of completeness would require that the entirety of the video be played for the fact finder.
Mr. Anderson?
They have no legal basis. If we didn't want to admit the video at all, they have no legal basis to admit the hearsay statements of their client. He's not a party opponent for them. Rule of completeness is not a Trojan horse around hearsay. There's a case that I cited to in our motion in limine where it was a tax evasion case and the defendant said, admitted to not paying taxes, but said it was because the accountant has access to all the records. The state admitted the first statement that he admitted to not paying, and the defense was not allowed to get in the but because it's self-serving. Here, it's not even part of an interview. I think from my stance, I thought about playing it because he's clearly continuing the acting show. But it's 15 minutes of him sitting there and mumbling to himself, and I think it's not a good use of our time. So I'm not putting it in. They have no authority to put it in. It's hearsay.
What is the authority beyond completeness?
Well, I think that's what it is, Judge. It's if they play a portion of the video, I think the rule of completeness would allow me to play the rest of it to put it in context.
Yeah, what's the context that's missing, though?
The context that's missing is I don't believe Lieutenant Hart didn't tell Mr. Mew that he was being recorded upon leaving. He makes statements which support his defense. Okay. He makes statements to himself, not knowing he's recorded. Why would they attack me? Why would they attack me? He's saying that to himself. Unbeknownst, I think, that he's being recorded. And I think if you're going to play portions of it, which are, according to the state, would be considered incriminating, the idea that the video in its entirety should be played in order to give the jury a complete and accurate record of, in fact, what he said.
The rule of completeness is meant to prevent distortion. So an example where the rule of completeness would perfectly apply is if, say, there's a bank robbery. Defendant says, yeah, I was at the bank, but that was a month before. If we just admitted, yeah, I was at the bank, and then argued, oh, he's admitting to being at the scene, rule of completeness would allow the rest of the statement, because otherwise we're clearly distorting his statement. So nothing about this implicates the rule of completeness.
All right, this time I'm going to rule that the state is not obligated to play the entire video. As part of the state's case, the state is entitled to play the portions it believes support its case, and the state is under no legal obligation to play the entire video. I disagree that the rule of completeness applies in this circumstance. My understanding of the rule of completeness is to prevent words from being taken out of context, similar to the example that Mr. Anderson gave. It doesn't mean that if you play part of a video, you have to play all of the video. And clearly, Mr. Mew's statements to himself are hearsay and would otherwise be inadmissible if offered by Mr. Mew. So that's my ruling. If the circumstances require revisiting that ruling, we may. Anything else?
I didn't hear anything from defense that they're not going to be asking Lieutenant Hart's interpretation of the video. She also hadn't seen the video at the time of the interview.
She testified at the preliminary examination. She provided a statement under oath. And I think if she denies certain things, I should be able to impeach her with that. And I think the area that the state doesn't want me to get into is when Lieutenant Hart says he's surrounded on all sides. He has no route of escape. They want that because it affects the retreat instruction. And she testified to that under oath that that in fact was true.
How is it relevant, though? How is Lieutenant Hart's conclusions and observations from watching the video relevant?
Because it goes to what a reasonable person believed.
Well, I don't mean to be flippant here, but she's not the reasonable person standard. It's more objective than that, than what Lieutenant Hart thinks. It's broader than what Lieutenant Hart thinks.
Right, but I think that her observations that he had no means of escape. The state's going to argue that he could have left.
And you can still argue that.
Away. I understand he can argue it, but one of their investigators is saying that's not true. He didn't have a means of escape. Once the attack started, which is where the retreat instruction kicks in, she testified under oath at a preliminary examination. The crowd worked their way behind him. I asked her, so would you agree at that point there was no means of leaving? And she said, yes, that's true.
Again, I'm ruling that to be inadmissible. And this is a ruling that I've made with all of the witnesses. And that is, we're not commenting on what the witness observes in the video. We're not taking a poll of witnesses to get their opinions and their conclusions about what they see and what they think happened. Lieutenant Hart was not a participant. She played no role in the events on the Apple River. She is an observer of the video, just like anybody else in this courtroom, just like anybody sitting on the jury. And it is the jury's opinion about what they see that matters, not what Lieutenant Hart thinks or what I think or what some other witness thinks they see in the video. So that's why I don't think it's relevant, and that's why I've not allowed the witnesses to ask, or the attorneys to ask witnesses to comment on what they think and conclude based on observations in the video. Anything else?
No.
Mr. Trofficy?
We're not going to try to move any transcript, correct?
We weren't planning on it, but I guess it depends on how it goes.
Well, it's an inaccurate transcript with 10 minutes cut out of the video, the one that we received. So I would object to the transcript being provided.
Okay. So that's noted. If we get to that point, we'll have to take it up outside the presence of the jury. All right, let's bring them in. I'll address the exhibit when they come in. Thank you. Please be seated. All right, we're back in session with the attorneys, Mr. Mew, and 14 jurors. Members of the jury, we took our break before all of you looked at the exhibit, number 24. It's there on the rail. If you want to continue passing it amongst yourselves, you may. Once you are finished, once everyone has seen it and you're finished with the exhibit, just turn it upside down, place it on the rail, or place it on the floor so that we know that you're done. Mr. Smestad, who is the next witness?
Call Lieutenant Hart.
Lieutenant, please come forward. Please face the clerk, raise your right hand, and be sworn.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Please have a seat in the witness chair. Mr. Smestad.
You state your name for the record, please,
Yes, Brandy Hart, Hart.
and what's your occupation?
I am the Special Services Lieutenant for the St. Croix County Sheriff's Office.
What are your general duties as a Special Services Lieutenant?
I supervise our 9 investigators, our 7 deputies in court services, and the evidence room.
How many years have you been with the St. Croix County Sheriff's Office?
25.
What roles have you held over those years?
I started in the jail. I worked there for 3 years. I went to patrol for 6 years. After that, I was promoted to investigations, where I spent 14 years before I became a lieutenant.
How many years have you been a lieutenant?
2.5.
Do you recall July 30th, 2022?
I do.
Were you on duty that day?
No,
Did you get called in?
I did.
In your current role, would you normally be involved in an investigation of this sort?
Yes.
Did you get contacted regarding the stabbings on the Apple River that day?
I did.
What was the information you were initially told?
Investigator Schultz called me and told me that there had been multiple stabbings on the Upper River.
Were you at home at the time?
I was doing yard work.
Did you get asked to come in?
Yes.
Were you given any specific duties or assignments?
At that point, we were just looking for manpower. The suspect hadn't been located, and we were going to formulate a plan.
What did you do? What was your part in the investigation?
I got to the Apple River about an hour after the first call came in. And at that point, Mr. Mew had been taken into custody, and his group was standing along the end of the river.
All right. What did you do when you got to the river?
I believe I spoke with some of my colleagues, and then I ended up taking Sandy Mew to the Somerset Police Department to interview her.
All right. Did you interview Sandy?
I did.
What did you do after that?
After that, I coordinated her getting back with her group. Some of them had come to the police department, and because all the other investigators were interviewing witnesses, I went to the jail.
Were you asked to do anything specific at the jail?
I interviewed Mr. Mew.
Was that interview recorded?
It was
How was it recorded?
audio and video.
Were you wearing a body cam, or was there some other system?
I have a recording device on my cell phone, and so I recorded the audio version that way, and then there's an overhead camera at the jail that recorded the video.
Do you remember what time it was that you interviewed Mr. Mew at the jail?
Yeah, it was about 10 to 8.
PM?
Yes.
At that point, had you seen Jawan Cockfield's video of what happened on the river?
I had not.
Did you know there was a video?
I did.
Did Mr. Mew know that?
Conjecture, speculation.
Sustained.
Did you ever, prior to your interview with him, did you tell him there was a video of the incident?
I did not.
And have you reviewed Exhibit 15?
I did.
Can you tell us what it is?
Yeah, it's a copy of my interview with Mr. Mew at the jail.
Is it recorded on a specific kind of device?
Yes, it's on a thumb drive.
All right, Your Honor, permission to publish Exhibit 15 to the jury on the digital system.
Any objection to 15? All right, 15 is received.
What a freak.
Hi there, are you Nick?
Yeah.
Hi Nick, my name is Brandy.
Hi.
I'm a lieutenant with the St. Clair County Sheriff's Office, okay?
Here we go.
You got some water, right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have you had anything to eat?
No.
Okay, let me,
I will wait for now.
okay.
For food.
Are you sure?
I'm not hungry.
Okay. Well, if you get hungry,
Yeah.
just let these guys know, okay? Or let me know when I can,
I was just very thirsty.
yeah, I bet. Helps with the long,
Out on the river drinking beer all day and not drinking any water.
and it's hot, and yeah. Being in the sun all day, doesn't matter if you're drinking beer. Sometimes it's, and then this, yeah. So I would imagine that you have some questions for me.
Well,
I am just gonna go through the rights form and, you know, let you know if you wanna answer any of my questions, we'll talk about that. I'm gonna record our conversation if you're okay with that.
of course.
Let's see, today is the 30th of July, and it is 7:53 p.m. How do you spell your first name?
Nicolae.
Okay.
Last
And
name, no middle name.
no middle name, okay.
No.
And what's your last name?
M-I-U.
How do you spell, or how do you pronounce that?
Miu.
Okay. And what's your birthday? Do you like to be called Nicolae or Nick, or
Nick.
what's Nick? Okay.
Yeah.
December
11th, 1969.
Okay, so that makes you
52.
52. Thank you. What's your address, Nick?
5945 Hidden Oaks Circle, southeast.
Holy cats, that's a multiple.
It's a long one, yeah.
Hidden Oak Circle.
Sure.
I don't even know if I have enough space in this
You
thing.
do
Southeast? Oh, southeast. Thank you for
Yeah,
correcting
no
me.
problem.
And that's
Prior Lake,
Prior Lake. Okay. What's the zip code in Prior Lake?
55372.
Okay, and how about a phone number for you, Nick?
612-735-6317.
6317, and I understand you're married to Sandy,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. Is she okay?
She is, yeah.
You talked to her?
I did talk to her. I talked to her for quite a while. I brought her to get the dry clothes.
Where is she?
She is with Ernesto and Amy.
Okay, good.
They're taking good care of her. And then,
Titi, my puppy.
she's headed home to take care of the dog. And she's also with, Ariel and, who's his girlfriend?
Oh, God, I don't even know.
Is it Tatiana?
No, Tatiana. Tatiana is another girl.
Okay.
But she's not.
Hold on,
with
they gave
Ariel.
me,
Yes,
oh, Sandy didn't know Ariel's girlfriend's name.
neither do I.
Okay. But Ernesto and Amy
They,
came to where I was with Sandy, and they went and got the car, but I had brought Sandy to the car to
she
get
was
changed.
driving, right?
No, she was with me. I brought her from the river to the car
Okay.
so she could get clothes, and we brought the cooler back and put that in the car. So she's got all the stuff.
All right.
Are you working anywhere now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where do you work?
I work at Reach Engineering as a mechanical engineer.
And what kind of engineering? What was that?
Mechanical engineer.
Yeah, what's the name of your employer?
Oh, Richie,
R-I,
TCHIE, engineering in Bloomington.
55427, I think it is.
Okay. What was the last grade that you completed?
I have a bachelor's, and I have actually 2 degrees, one
Okay.
in engineering, one in mathematics.
Wow.
And I'm a class away from a master's in both. I'm not a dummy, and I've never had a run with the law, except when I got we'll go into
Okay.
that.
So where did you get your degrees from, your undergraduate
South
degrees?
Dakota State University.
Okay. So the Bison?
No, the Jackrabbit.
Okay.
In Brookings.
And how about your master's degree? Where are you working on that?
I'm not working on it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I did pass the EIT so that I could work
Gotcha.
for the state as a licensed engineer, but I haven't had a chance to do that. For many years, I worked as a contracting engineer. And then for the past 16 years, I've been working with Ritchie Engineering, where I met Sandy.
Okay. What does Ritchie Engineering do? Like, what do they manufacture?
What do we do? We do HVAC service equipment.
Okay.
Basically, we're the top tier of HVAC. We're like the top brand. And top brand for that is Yellow Jacket.
Okay. And is that for the parts?
The brand of yeah. Everything we make there, we make it under the Yellow Jacket brand.
Got it.
But the company name is Ritchie Engineering.
Okay.
So what I do everything from hoses, recovery machines, all the electronics. I talk to customers. I get business. I do the documentation, the design. It's a small company,
okay.
So I like to do everything. Testing, evaluation, you name it.
Wow.
16 years over there, and that's not even scratching the surface.
Really?
Well, I have bigger dreams now,
Yeah.
shattered, but anyway, I don't want to talk about them right now.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what happened. I just don't. I can't talk about it. I need to go one step at a time.
Yep. And if you have any questions along the way, Nick, just stop and ask me, okay? Or if you need to take a break, just.
How bad is it?
Well, can we get through this form and ask each other questions?
Yes.
I want to maintain the integrity of this investigation and your rights, and so I want to get through this form and then we can ask questions, okay? So I'm going to turn this around. I'll give you this pen. What I'll have you do is I'm going to read each. You seem to speak excellent English.
Yeah.
You can read.
Yeah, Miranda rights, which have not been read to me when I was put in the car. Is that right?
And that's okay, as long as they weren't asking you any questions, they don't need to.
Oh.
But I'd like to ask these questions, so that's why we're going to go through this right now, okay? So I'll let you have that pen, and so I'm going to read these to you, okay? Mm-hmm. You have the right to remain silent.
Or just
you can check mark it, or some people put their initials. We'll have you sign it at the bottom, so that's however you want to do that. Anything you say can be used against you in court or other proceedings. You have the right to consult an attorney before making any statement or answering any question, and you may have him or her present with you during questioning.
Okay.
And also, stop me, I talk kind of fast.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about this one.
Okay.
So.
Yep.
When do I see one? When do I get one assigned to me?
You would get one assigned to you, the soonest would be on Monday.
Oh.
So that would be the soonest. And
working hours,
yeah, pretty much. Is how that works.
Okay.
So if you cannot afford to pay for an attorney, you may be eligible to be represented by an attorney from the office of the state public defender. If you desire an attorney from that office, you should contact their local office.
And that information would be provided to me, or?
Yes. So what happens is the jail provides that information every day to the public defender's office. Like, here's who's on the list.
Okay.
So some people come into jail and they either have a lawyer already because of other things, or they know a lawyer, or they're going to find their own. So these guys will let you use the phone if that's
I'll ask Sandy to look for me, if that's okay.
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm not going to see you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. If you decide to answer questions now, with or without an attorney, you still have the right to stop the questioning at any time, or stop the questioning for the purpose of consulting an attorney.
Yeah, I'd like to do that at some point.
Okay. You can just check mark that we went over that. However, you may waive the right to remain silent, and you may answer questions now without an attorney. You can just check mark that I read that to you. You're not agreeing to anything right now. This is just that I stated these things to you. So this says the above rights have been read to me. I have initialed each paragraph, or in your case, check mark, to show that I understand each of my rights. I have received a copy of this form. So you sign it, and then I'm going to sign it, Nick, and then I'm going to give you a copy of it. All right, I'll sign here. And at 8:01. All right, do that. Okay.
Military time.
Hi, sorry. Do you want me to write it regular? Okay.
No.
I get so caught up in used to that.
Yeah.
My friends don't like it because in my vehicle, my own vehicle that I drive, it's military time, and so they're always asking me what time.
I have is military because I came from Europe. And
Oh, sure.
everything
Yeah,
is they call it military, but it's not military. It's
Right. It's
the proper time.
exactly. Well, good. At least then you know what it means then when I put the time on there like that. So I would like to ask you questions about your day today. What happened? Like how you guys got to be on the Apple River today, and then like what your day was like. It's up to you if you're willing to answer questions. If you decide that, yep, I'll answer questions right now, and in 10 minutes you don't want to answer anymore, you just need to tell me that, okay? And if you don't want to answer questions right now, then that's fine too, and I will leave. It's up to you.
All I can say, it was self-defense. Self-defense. There were lots of people that came on to me. Self-defense, and they produced 2 weapons. One I took from them.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can tell. And they hit me, and they were on top of me, and I don't remember anything after that. I just remember I ran away. I ran away to my group. There were actually people coming over from my group to see what was going on. I said, nothing, just get back on. And they kept asking, and I said, nothing. I didn't explain to them anything because I was so fearful. I didn't know what these people were doing to us. I've never been in a situation like this, where people produce weapons and they were saying, they were calling, I don't remember, but they said, don't run over, don't run from us, don't do this, you're a child molester, you're this. And I said, are you people drunk? Or you're a child molester. I said, the only thing I remember is, in my mind is, if I'm a child molester, should you be drinking? Should you be drinking alcohol and doing what you're doing to people that you don't even know, attacking them? And I said, if I'm a child molester, you should be having alcohol, And they took I was snorkeling, so they took my snorkel away. They threw it in the water. They grabbed my pants. One wanted to pull my pants down, and I grabbed onto him. And I don't know who that kid was, but he had a knife on him. And then there was another knife, a longer knife, looked like a kitchen knife, kitchen or something, I don't know. And I don't know what happened to either one of them. I just know that when the kid attacked me, I took that from him.
The kitchen knife or the other
No,
knife?
the smaller knife.
Okay, what did that knife look like? Do you remember?
I don't even remember.
But it was smaller?
Smaller, yes.
Okay.
So that's all.
How did you get to be by them? Or who are these people?
So Ariel lost his phone.
Okay.
The phone was in the floor.
One of those bags? That
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone had one, but his phone was in the floater, so he says, well, let's go look for it. So I put my snorkel on, and I looked, and this guy found something. And they were talking about it, and I said, okay.
This group of people?
This group of people,
gotcha.
yeah. I went over and I said, did you guys find the phone? And if you did, can I see it? Can I identify it? And they started calling me names. They got off of their tubes. They came at me. So I said, all I need. And they were calling me all kinds of names, insulting me for being in the water with a snorkel And I said, all I want, guys, did you find the phone? And I saw they had found something, all right? And I don't know if there was a phone or something else they found, but they wouldn't talk to me about what they found. And we were looking desperately to find this phone. And I know somebody found it, but I thought it was that group.
Okay.
You know, and then they went over, they came to me and they grabbed my snorkel and they threw it in the water. Well, the water was so fast, it went under. So I went out after it and they started, another group of mostly girls came over from the other side, yelling at me or calling me child molester and what something with something like that. And I went back. I actually after this incident, I don't even know what happened. I just know that they attacked me and I was in self-defense. I went into self-defense mode, and then I went over to my group of people. That was it. And they asked me what happened, and I wouldn't tell them. I said, I can't tell you. Let me calm down.
Okay.
I was shocked. So nobody on that knew exactly what happened. The only thing they said was, look, somebody got in an argument over there. Like, yep, let's just leave that alone. Don't go there.
Are you able to draw for me, like where you were looking for the phone, like, and where was Ernesto and Sandy and where was this group? Maybe it would help me kind of understand. Yep.
These guys were here. I don't know how many. There were quite a few.
Okay.
We were upriver about 100 feet. Our group was here. And
So you guys were in the water?
yes.
Okay.
So we were in the water. And then there was another group of people over here that came to attack me. So there was this group of people here, this group of people that attacked me. They attacked me here.
So your group was floating down the river like this?
Actually, we're stopped. But yes, this is the
That's the direction you were going. Okay. So your group is stopped.
Yeah.
And who's looking for the phone besides you? Like, how do you know the phone's missing?
Oh, yeah, we talked about it. I yelled.
Oh, okay.
I lost my phone. And so, well, you didn't lose it. It's floating down the
Because it's in that bag.
Yeah, so let's go find it, you know. And he was over here pouting that he lost his phone. And I said, that's okay. I have my snorkeling gear. And then I heard this guy say that he found something. And when I was snorkeling down, I passed them. I kept looking, and then I came up. I kept looking, and then they started yelling and screaming. And I said, did you guys find something? And I thought they did. And I know they did because they were hiding something from me. And then I went over there and they grabbed my snorkel, they threw it down. They got off their tubes. They came after me. They pushed me. One of them hit me, and then there was a girl that came from here and hit me in the back of my head. And I was about right there.
You said right here?
When she hit me, yeah.
And that's when the female hit you?
Yeah. And she was coming from another group over here. I don't know how many people were in there. But
Were these guys stopped?
Yes, in very shallow water.
Okay, so it's really shallow over here.
Shallow there.
Okay.
Pretty much the two sides are shallow. Yeah.
How deep do you think it was when you were like snorkeling around looking for the
Oh,
phone?
4 or 5 feet.
Okay.
Not very deep. And the water was very murky, so I could not see anything.
Really?
From my goggles. But those goggles are lost. They took them, they grabbed them off my face and threw them in the water.
We found the goggles
Oh, good, thank you.
and the snorkel.
Yes.
Yep. Are they connected?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And they're just like regular snorkel
Yeah.
goggles, right?
Yeah, I had them
Okay.
over when I went to the Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do they look like? Just to make sure we have the right one. White?
Well, transparent plastic with a white snorkel.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I think-
Is that it?
I think we have them. Was there any? Did it seem like these groups were together?
After they came after me, I don't know. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think so. I mean, I feared for my life. Tell you the truth, when they started hitting me and pointed a knife at me, and then another kid pointed a knife, I thought that was it for me. luckily, I took it from one of the young kids, and I think that's when I found back.
What did you do with it?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't know. Absolutely, I don't know. I don't know if he got it back. I have absolutely no idea.
Did you hit him? Like, did the knife make contact with him?
That I don't remember.
Okay.
You were so close.
Sure.
And one had it in his hand, so I took his hand and I bent it and I poked him with his own hand. And then I took it from his hand and then I went and swung like this. So I don't know who I hit. I just know that I took the knife from one of the kids.
Okay.
The other one, I don't know what happened to. I didn't get hit. Because as soon as this happened, I started running across. So I went across to my group, and then my group was wondering what just happened. Was it? And I didn't want to tell them anything.
Just because you didn't want to.
I didn't want to get anybody aroused. I didn't want my group to go say, well, we're gonna go talk to those kids. No, they were too drunk. I believe they were too drunk and too set on going after people. I think.
What were these guys doing? Did
They
they
were
know?
just-
Did they know anything was going on?
No.
So they didn't know you were getting punched or.
Well, they saw the scuffle because at one point Ernesto was coming towards me like, "Hey man, did you find anything?" And I said, "No, I didn't. I don't know. These guys must have it or something. I don't know." And he says, "Okay, well, he will just get another phone on Monday." You were concerned about getting the phone. And like, okay, so what are you doing? I said, I don't know. I'm just gonna go late to sit in my thing. And then Sandy said, "Okay, are you okay?" And said, "I don't want to talk about it." You know. And then they asked me, "Hey, what do you want to do? You want to stay here? You want to go down?" And I said, "I want to go down." And then some girls from my group heard that something was happening over here, and they said, "Well, we're calling the police," and I think they called the police.
Okay.
One or two, I don't know.
Did you see any of that? What was going on?
No.
When they decided to call the police?
No.
Okay. Did you have a knife with
No,
you?
no, absolutely. No.
Okay.
I had one earlier that I used to cut, but right at the beginning, and I left it I don't even know what I did with it. I think I either gave it to one of the people or I put it back in my truck.
Okay.
Yeah. So it may have been, I tell you the truth, I don't even know.
And that was after you cut the string?
Yeah, we needed to have something to cut the string over there. They don't have any knives. So.
But you have them with you today, right?
The what?
A knife to cut. How did that?
I think it's in my car.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
Did you drive or did Sandy drive?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know where it's at, to tell you the truth. It may be in one of the bags we had with us. It may have been in I don't know. Maybe I left it, put it back in the car. Because I went back with a bunch of, I had straps. I didn't want to pay for string. But they say string is cheap.
Well, they probably don't want you to have straps.
They told me, they said, yeah, if you have straps, there was a kid over there. If you have straps, no problem, but the string is free. So I said, okay, I'll take the string.
Okay.
You know, and then I took the straps back. So, because straps can puncture the.
Yeah.
So I had a whole bag of straps that I took back to my car.
Okay. And so maybe the knife was with the strap?
Probably.
Lies so easily. Like, I'm like, what the actual hell, man? He just made up a complete story.
Do you have any cuts or marks on you? Have you had a chance to look at your torso or?
Somebody was telling me that I'm bleeding from my ear, from my left ear.
Who told you that?
Oh, I think it was Amy.
This must be my mother's brother.
Left ear. I went like this. I went in the water. I cleaned, and then I don't see any blood. You know, and I really, I don't know if you see any cuts, but
I don't.
Yeah, so I don't know why I was bleeding from my ear.
But Amy saw blood?
I think she says you're bleeding from your ear and neck. And then I cleaned and I said, look, there is nothing. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it was blood or if it was weeds she saw. I have no idea. We were like, she was on the other side and I was just.
Yeah, so she's over here, right?
She's over here, yeah, right here.
Oh, so she's closest, Amy's over here, closest to shore?
Yeah.
Okay.
With Ernesto right here. And I was over here somewhere in one of these.
Okay, and you got back in that tube then when it was time to go?
Got back in my own tube, yes.
Okay. Did Ernesto come and get you?
No.
Like, did anybody know that you were getting punched or?
No. No.
Was anybody?
They wanted to talk to me about the phone, if I found the phone and what did those guys say, and I said, they probably did, they don't want to give it up, they attacked me, and that's
Good
it.
God,
and
man.
I said, let's go, I don't want to be here.
Oh, Lord, he's
So
making
they
me
don't
mad.
know what happened here.
You didn't tell anybody?
No.
Okay.
No. You're the first one to know.
Okay.
That's why probably Amy and everybody else is so surprised.
Well, they're worried about you.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
Maxie.
mean, and even Ernesto was like, I don't know how the hell this happened.
They don't know anything because I didn't know what to tell them.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Everything happened so fast. I really don't remember why they attacked me. I don't know why they took my snorkel away. I don't know why one of them wanted to pull my pants down. I don't know why they were being so mean. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. And why did they want to scare me with a knife? I just don't know why they're scaring people on the river. It's a family-oriented river with knives and you know what they did.
So was it two males that had knives?
I saw two
men?
males.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And were they both from this group, or do you even, know?
Well, that I don't know.
Okay.
One of them was from this group. The one
Okay.
that I took the smaller knife from, I think was from this group.
Okay, so you took the smaller knife.
From one of them.
And is that the one that you said that you kind of went,
Yes.
basically like?
Oh, I was going like this. I wanted out. They were coming and they were punching me and they were circling me and they came really close. They were pushing me in the water and I just grabbed the kid's knife. I didn't even know if I was holding it right. I just grabbed it from him because he tried to poke me with it. So I feared for my life.
It sounds like.
I was very shocked. I was extremely shocked. I couldn't even say anything to anybody. I had locked jaw. I don't know. Right now, I don't even know how this happened, how I got away from all that.
So when they were pushing you in the water, did you go underwater or did you remain standing?
No, I tripped.
Okay.
I tripped and I fell in the water a couple of times, yes.
Where on your body did they hit you?
In the back of my back. And I know one of the girls came over and slapped me right over my right ear. I couldn't even see what they were doing because I was tripping over the stones and I was falling down and they were just jumping on me.
I'm going to show you a picture and see if you...
I was fearing for my life. I'm still fearful that they're going to find out who I am and go do something to Sandy. And possibly some of these people over here. I fear that somehow they're going to find out who I am and continue their whatever that was. And I don't know why they're so hateful. And I just don't get it. I mean, this is the second time I come to the river, the first time for my wife, and I promised her it was going to be a beautiful outing and nothing to fear. We had lots of booze. She didn't drink because she was the designated bride. But most of us didn't. There was another girl that didn't drink on the other party because they wanted to drive home. We ate well, we had music, everything was so good, so good, so good. Of course, I had a lot of alcohol. Who doesn't? You know,
Well, you had a sober ride. So,
yeah, yeah.
And I don't smell it on you. Were you
No.
drinking beer or vodka
Yeah,
or what?
no.
Okay.
We don't do hard liquor because then we dehydrate too fast and
Yep.
we get cramps.
Okay.
So after my quadruple bypass, I still have cramps.
Oh, yikes. Quadruple bypass? How long ago was that?
A year and a half ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you see any wires in my chest, in my sternum, that's from the wire.
Really? Do you have a
So-
pacemaker in there too or anything? No?
Mm-mm. I tell you the truth, I'm scared because I'm not in the best of health, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just going down the river, probably should not have even drank that much beer, but the doctor never said don't drink.
Sure.
You know, especially beer, you can have as much as you want in moderation. I was in cold water.
Yep.
You know, so, but, you know,
Yeah, yikes.
and then missing vein here and then from my leg.
That's what they used to.
Yeah, take it here, take it from here, cut it in half, that's two. The same thing from my leg, cut it in half, use the other two, so it's quadruple bypass.
Wow.
Yeah, I was dead. My heart stopped 5 hours.
Wow. Have you had a heart attack that
Mhm.
prompted that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yikes.
so I was in pretty bad shape.
It sounds like it.
Did I just hear him say that his heart stopped for 5 hours? Really? This guy is so full of shit.
Yeah,
I bet Sandy was pretty scared.
she was because I was in the hospital for quite some time.
I bet.
At Methodist Hospital, but they did a great job, you know, and Methodist Hospital is probably one of the best hospitals for heart
Yeah, I've heard that.
surgeries. If you know somebody, I'll point them to Methodist.
Yeah, my father-in-law had heart surgery there too. He had a heart
Yeah,
attack a few years
yeah.
ago, and that's where he went.
So, yeah,
Do you need some more?
no, that's it.
Are you sure? I got an extra fresh bottle here, so you want it?
Yes, please.
I can't travel without one. It's brand new too. I didn't drink out of it
I
yet, so.
understand. Thank you so much.
I probably am gonna drink out of it now, so you can have that, and this is gonna be
I
my part.
really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I take a medication that makes me really, really thirsty, so I have bottles of water rolling around in my
I
back
do
seat,
too.
and I've got them in the
I'm
door
supposed to
pocket.
I'm supposed to take mine, but they're at home, and I don't know when I'm gonna take them.
Okay, so you have medication that you
Oh,
need?
yeah.
Okay.
5 medication.
Cause I can call Sandy and see,
Oh, I'm not gonna have her drive over here.
well, I might be able to send somebody to go get them,
Oh,
just so that they get back here, and I mean, I'm
she's so
sorry.
shaken right now, she is probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, but we need to make sure you have your medication.
Yeah, but like I said, I wouldn't have her drive.
Yeah, yep, I might be able to send somebody there to get them. What medications do you take, Nick?
Oh, my God.
Are they all heart related, or some do different
Well,
things?
2 of them are heart related.
Okay.
Yeah. One is aspirin.
That's heart related, right? The
Yeah.
blood thinning?
Yeah.
Yep.
Potassium, because I'm getting a lot of muscle cramps.
Okay,
Um,
that's 4.
There's one. There's another one. I'll tell you when I remember.
Okay, no worries. Were you on your phone at all during your day today? I know that Sandy didn't bring her phone.
I took some pictures,
Okay,
then I put it away. Sandy does not like to take a lot of pictures because then they get posted on
Facebook or Instagram or something?
Yeah, but I'm okay if they take them, if they post them. Yeah. I did take a few, didn't have a chance to do anything with them.
Okay,
Yeah, but I was not on the phone, I didn't call anybody.
okay. Did you use your phone around the time,
No.
like right before, you were looking for the phone or anything like that?
No, not me.
Okay.
Not like these guys, they're constantly on their phones. That's why IDL lost his.
Because he was on it too much?
People can't enjoy life, nowadays going down the river without being on their phones. Of course, they take a lot of pictures, but the picture is not the same experience as being there, so.
So do you think the pictures that you took were like at the beginning of your journey, or where do you
Oh,
think?
we did take, I took a couple of group ones where they have that music place in the bathrooms.
Okay.
We made a stop there to eat sandwiches. There were a lot of people over there. That beach was completely full. Lots of people there, lots of people. It was a beautiful day. Except
It was.
this. And this now, we'll probably close that place down.
You think so?
Yes. Well, I don't know what resulted of it, because I don't know.
Is this you?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think was happening at that time?
They were fighting me. They pointed the knife at me. They pointed the knife at me. Both boys pointed the knife at me.
Okay. Did you see anyone take this picture of you?
No, God, no. I was actually very, very scared.
Yeah.
I was very scared. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what they were doing and why. I mean, I understand they were drunk, but you get drunk, I get drunk, we all get drunk. We don't do that kind of stuff, especially on a river like this, family outing. We don't do that kind of stuff. But I was very, very scared. I didn't know what was going to happen next.
Did you see the woman that hit you in the ear? Did you see her at all?
No. I turned around, she hit me again.
Okay. Do you remember what her bathing suit looked like?
No.
She was wearing?
She was just yelling at me and calling me a child molester. That's how it all started. They kept calling me a child molester. I don't know, out of the blue. And then they wanted to beat me up because they said I'm a child molester. And then my argument back to them was, if I'm a child molester and you're children, you shouldn't be drinking. You should not be out here drinking, okay, and doing what you're doing. Where are your parents?
Did they look like they were young?
Oh, I don't know. I think they look pretty young to me.
Okay.
I don't think they were of the age of drinking.
Really?
Yeah. I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't hang out with people like that. My generation and people I hang out with are much older people.
Like Ernesto and Sandy.
Like Ernesto and Sandy and Amy. Yeah. Yeah. Amy's probably one of the youngest ones there.
Sure.
45, and Sandy is 61.
Yeah.
So I'm younger, you know.
So you said that they were standing really close to you.
They were on top of me. They were pushing me, shoving me. I tripped. I fell down. I got up. And that's where I saw the one of the kids there. It was the closest kid with the knife, and I grabbed it from him.
And that was the smallest.
Yes, yes.
And he was in front of you. Was he as close as we are, or?
Oh, he was closer. He was closer. He was closer. But as soon as he came with the knife, I grabbed the knife from him. And what I did then, I mean, I shouldn't show you, but I grabbed, twisted his arm and poked him with his own knife. Then I took it from him and I started swinging.
Okay.
So I swung. I don't even know who I hit. Okay. I don't know if I hit the girl that hit me twice in the head from behind. I don't know if I hit another kid. I don't know. They were just on top of me. They chased me, hitting me and yelling at me and calling me, insulting me. That's it.
Okay.
So I don't know what knife they had. I don't know. I just saw two knives. That's it. The longer one and the shorter one. Okay. I don't know where they are. I don't know who's got them. I don't know.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to get a sample of your DNA, because if these knives don't belong to you, I would imagine your DNA is not going to be on them.
Well, I touched one of them.
Yeah, you touched the one you grabbed.
Yeah, from the kid. Yeah.
Would you be willing to give me a sample of your DNA? Okay.
Yeah. Is that the good thing?
Well,
I mean, I don't know. I don't have a lawyer over here to us.
Yeah, and certainly, so.
Should I wait?
Well, I've got a colleague that's in the process of writing a search warrant, so we're gonna get it one way or another. I just thought if I could ask you, and we could just do it right now, I'll like show you how to, like what we would do.
I know what it
I would
is.
just get your DNA sample, yeah, instead of a Q-tip.
Yeah.
We'd also like to do an exam, have a nurse examine your body.
That's absolutely okay.
Okay, and I want her to look in your ears, and I want her to look at your back, and, you know, the people that are in these groups, we're gonna try to collect evidence from them, because they might have your skin underneath their fingernails, or, you know, we're gonna do our best to get any evidence to, I mean, we don't know what
Of course,
happened.
I mean, and I know everything that happened in the river, so.
Well, yeah, there's that part of it too, but,
Definitely,
okay,
yep, yeah,
okay,
you can call me.
okay.
I just don't know if I had a lawyer present, what he or she would say.
Well, I just want you to know that we would get it anyway. I've got a coworker that's writing a search warrant.
If you would get
for the
it
judge.
anyway, then let's do it.
Okay, with the court order, or just, let's do it now and get it done?
No, let's do it now and give you what you need
Okay.
to start your
Yeah.
proceedings or your search. Yeah.
Well, and yeah, I mean, if you sound like you were really afraid.
Yeah, I have a quadruple bypass. I have been out of shape. I have been in bed for a long time, for 6 months at least. I couldn't go to work. I'm not in the best. I mean, I was just floating down the river. Nothing much. Every once in a while, I got up so I could pee, because I can't pee in the tent there. You know, shouldn't tell you that on camera, but yes, most people have to get off the thing. So I got out. I would get up and then hold on and then get back in. I mean, I don't do anything to stay in shape. I'm a guy that wants to survive and keep working at Ritchie Engineering, you know. And why these things happen, it's beyond me. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, why would that many people come down on one person that didn't absolutely do anything, take his goggles, almost one wanted to pull my pants down. So
Did your trunks have like a drawstring?
Yeah.
So they didn't come down?
Oh, no. They came down a little bit, but no, because I have a drawstring on it, so yeah, they couldn't pull it down. But why? All of a sudden, they were like wolves around me, and they were attacking me from all directions. And I truly feared for my life. I didn't know what to do. I mean, these guys were talking over there. I didn't know what to say. I mean, I was just.
Which guys are you talking?
My
group. Okay.
My guys. So, and they were quite a bit distance, so they didn't see anything. I don't think they saw anything. And.
So when you go back to your tube, do you guys get the hell out of there? Or
No.
do you what do you do?
We stayed there.
Okay.
Yeah, the girls called the cops. We didn't know what to do. And we stayed there for a long time. There were people coming. We even saw the sheriff coming, and they kept saying, "Oh my God," they didn't know what happened. So they said, "Oh my God, what happened?" So there was a fight. And I said, "Yeah, I don't know what was going on after that. I thought they were still fighting." Personally, when I came back, I saw a whole bunch of people coming over there and yelling at each other, and I thought they were still fighting for some reason. I didn't know what was going on. So I personally wanted to stay and watch to see if the cops get them for fighting, you know, for whatever they were doing.
Sure. Okay.
So I wanted to be a witness to them fighting.
Gotcha.
Or if the cops needed a witness, I wanted to sit there for as long as possible. And then the group said, "Well, there's so many people, I don't know, let's just get going. We don't want to get involved in that." I was just in there. They attacked me. Yeah, but look at them now. They're attacking each other. I don't know what they're doing. So cops came, and we stayed there for, I don't know, another 10, 15 minutes.
When the police were there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we decided we'll go. Nobody asked me anything, and I said, I kept my mouth shut. And down the river we went.
Okay.
So I was very shocked. I didn't know what just happened, really, to tell you the truth.
Well, Sandy said that you were quiet
I was very quiet.
and you didn't really talk.
I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I get my excuse my French, my ass kicked by a whole bunch of kids. What am I gonna say? I just got my ass kicked by this kid, now the police is on top of them. Well, I think something is gonna come out of it. So I thought the police was there because they were fighting, you know, because these were just boys. And they were being obnoxious, not only picking on me, then these girls came over and hit me.
So these are girls over here?
Well,
Mostly?
mostly.
Okay. And this was all guys?
Yeah, I didn't know who was in this group, but I know these were all guys because I was snorkeling back and forth. And I asked them if they found something, and they said, well, you know, they started calling me a molested. Then I got up, and one of them took my goggles, threw them in the river. I went after them. One of them wanted to pull my pants down. And there you go. So what happened? Can you tell me what happened?
Yes. 4 people went to the hospital with injuries.
Oh my God.
And 1 person died.
Oh no.
I don't know any of their names, and I don't know any genders, so I don't know.
Was that because they fought each other, or is that the?
I don't know. I don't know what their injuries are. I was with Sandy the whole time, and then when I kind of turned Sandy over to Ernesto and Amy, then I came here. So I have no idea what their injuries were.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So we just need to be able to like piece this together. You know, in your statement,
What other pictures did they give you of me?
it's just that one. That's the only one I have.
They didn't take, they
Well-
have lots of cameras. You should take their cameras.
Yes, and so I have colleagues,
Yeah.
investigators that are talking to all of those, you know, the people in the group and the other witnesses. So yes, we are trying to collect. And I told Ernesto and Amy, because they said that Rosie was taking a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think she took any pictures of those guys. There
Well-
was, at the stop up here.
Yes, but
Yeah.
you were snorkeling. They might have been like taking a
Oh,
selfie or
I see
something,
it.
and
Yeah,
we
yeah,
could have
yeah,
gotten,
yeah,
we
yeah.
could get these guys in the background that they don't even realize they have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So I asked them to go through their photos so
Right,
that we
right,
would
right,
be
right.
in contact with them.
Got it, got it. I was, all of a sudden you say that, like, why would they take pictures of me going over there?
No, you just never know what you get in a picture.
Yeah.
If they're sitting here waiting for you and somebody else to find the phone.
Did you find his phone?
I don't know. Again, I've been with Sandy pretty much the whole time, and now I came here with you. So I do know I did get a message that the goggles and the snorkel were found. So that's all the information that I have about like items that were located.
No, my whole life is down the tubes.
Well, I don't know if that's the case. Because people have the right to defend themselves.
I know, but this is Wisconsin.
This is Wisconsin.
Okay. You continue on. I usually know that people that defend themselves, they end up being accused of being this and being that.
Well, I think if you'd asked me what I would have done,
Yeah,
I mean,
let's not say
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know. I would have been scared shitless, I can tell you that.
When that many people
Yeah.
try to pull your pants down and hit you, and and two boys had knives on them. They didn't find any of those 2 knives?
I don't know. I don't know, but we're looking. And, you know, we're looking before it gets dark out. Okay, right now it is 8:40.
I'm glad I actually took that kid's knife. He would have stabbed me. He was not there to scare me. He was there to harm me. At least I'm here, but I'm sorry for how it ended up. Still scared, like I said, I'm scared that they're gonna be finding out where I live and they're gonna be hunting us at night and they're gonna be hurting my wife.
Well, I will call Sandy as soon as I leave here, okay, and just check in on her. Find out about your medications. Have you had any medicine this morning?
No, I take them in the evening.
Okay, you take them in the evening. What would happen if you don't take them
Nothing.
tonight?
Nothing. I'm not even hungry to food.
Okay, but if you don't take your medication tonight, is that life-threatening?
I don't think so. No, I mean, granted what happened today, I was shocked, yeah, but I don't know. I don't think so. I just can't believe what happened. They need to maybe do sobriety tests on minors on that river. Maybe they need to put an end to drinking, underage drinking and doing drugs. That river over there is turned into a sewer. My second time, and I have dragged my wife out of there pretty much against her will. I promised her it was going to be the best day. I made promises. We're going to have a great time with this.
But she didn't want to go?
No. She always says, oh, places like this, all they do is smoke pot and do this. Yes, there is a lot of pot smoking over there. We don't know who's legal, who's illegal. I don't know anything about Wisconsin laws, but you can smell it. It was everywhere in the air. And I don't know what people do to, you do the DNA, you can find out, what type of drugs are in my system. I've never done any of that stuff, so I don't know. I'm very clean, as clean as they go. You looked at my criminal record, you can keep digging, there is nothing there because I don't have anything, not even one parking ticket, not a speeding ticket. I'm as a law-abiding citizen as they come. But I fear for my life too. I mean, I went through a very serious surgery to be alive, to be knocked down by a bunch of kids on the river.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And I'm not blaming the police. I believe that's a private land. They have to have their own security there, and they need to do better.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rub these along your lower gum line and kind of inside your cheek. I'm going to do them both at the same time. It shouldn't hurt at all. If it does, let me know. I'm going to put them in this box, and then I'm going to seal this bag while we're sitting here so you see that I sealed it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just have you open up your mouth. Let's see here. Shouldn't, like I said, shouldn't hurt. All right. And you're okay with having the nurse do the exam on you? Give me pictures if you have any lumps on the body. You're okay with that?
Yeah. These actually are from trying to get out of the tubes in shallow water.
Okay.
I had a hard time trying to stop the drain.
Yeah. Can I just, I know the nurse will too, but can I take a picture of it?
Yes.
Okay.
But this was not from the confrontation.
Oh, this wasn't?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood that.
No, these are from scrapes on the river bottom when I was
When you were snorkeling? I got you. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, please don't use that. Yeah. I didn't touch those kids. I did not. I didn't swim, nothing. No.
Okay. I'm going to seal this up because I told you I was going to do that. And then I'm going to go call the person that has the nurse kind of on standby so that we can get that taken care of. I'm also Gonna give Sandy a holler. Oh, look at that, the tape just.
Oh, no.
For the love of God.
Is this good?
Well, I didn't like it because it's all, and it's not gonna be big enough to do what I need to do here, so we'll try it again. Worst case scenario, I can always bring it to my office next door and do it in the evidence room. But I'm gonna try to take care of it here.
Probably dries up. When it dries up, it's probably.
Well, and then it's real sticky and it's real finicky, so if you get it stuck on something, it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's meant to not, be able to be tampered with, so. And then it rips on my finger, so I'll just,
It dries so fast.
okay. So I'm gonna go call my supervisor, who had been in contact with the nurse, and just let them know that we're gonna do that. And then I will be back. Do you have any questions now?
It is not.
You need to go back. All right, I can make sure that happens. I'm just gonna write your name on here so that. Today is 7/30/22.
MIU.
Yep, this is, that means no middle initial.
Oh,
And then
I see.
did I spell it wrong? It's
No, no,
MIU. Yep, I did.
yeah.
It's MIU. There we go. Okay, that's yours. I will be back in a minute. In the meantime, I'll have one of the jail staff bring you to the bathroom. And are you still doing okay? Do you need, how's your water there?
I have money for now.
Okay.
It's going through a lot faster than
All right. I'll be right back, Nick.
Thank you so much.
Can you use the restroom?
Lieutenant Hart, was that the interview you did with Nicolae at the jail?
Yes,
At the point when you left, was that the end of your questioning?
yes,
While you were talking to him, you showed Mr. View a photo on your phone.
yes.
What was that photo?
That was a photo that had been disseminated to us of the suspect.
You know where it came from? At the time, did you know where it came from?
Probably, I believe dispatch had emailed it out.
Was it a photo from the video
Objection.
or from something else?
Sustained.
You know where the photo originated from?
I do,
Where did it originate?
from Jawan Cockfield's video.
Did it? Strike that. While you're talking to Mr. View, you were referring to a diagram.
Yeah,
Are you gonna approach her?
Yes.
Lieutenant Hart, I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 16. You recognize that?
I do.
And what is it?
This is the diagram that I asked him to draw me while we were talking.
Did he draw portions of that?
He drew all of it. I put the words on there.
All right. Counter, I move for admission of Exhibit 16.
Any objection? 16 is received.
If I can publish to the jury on yellow.
Yes, you may. While you're standing there, would you also retrieve the Exhibit 24?
And just to clarify, is the only thing you added the words on the diagram?
Yes, he put the 100 feet or inches, but I wrote Amy, the mostly girls, shallow, all males and female. And then that is my handwriting on the lower right-hand portion where I put the date and our agency case number.
Also in the video, you appeared to be taking a buccal swab.
Yes,
Did you do anything with those swabs?
I logged them into evidence at the sheriff's office.
Were those the swabs that were sent to crime lab?
No,
Which swabs were sent to the crime lab?
the one in the kit that the sergeant nurse had taken.
While you're speaking with Mr. Mew, did you notice any signs of impairment?
No,
That's it. Nothing else. Nothing further.
And we need a break? Still doing good? All right. One vote for break? All right. Let's take a short recess then. We'll come back at 10:25.
All rise for the hearing.
I'm not going to ask you about what you saw in the video, but what I'm going to ask you about is you're aware there's a video in the case, right?
yes,
Okay. And when someone gives you a statement about what had happened, it's helpful for you as an investigator to be able to go back to that video and kind of determine the accuracy of that person's statement, right?
sure,
Okay. And while you're able to determine whether or not the person's statements are accurate, what the video really doesn't capture and what you need to try to figure out is what the person was feeling or what their beliefs were at the time, correct?
I don't know if that's up for me to decide.
No, but in terms of your investigation, you'll ask people things like, how did that make you feel when something was happening? That you'll ask them questions about their emotions because their emotions might not be borne out on the video. True?
True,
And people will tell you, I was afraid, I was worried, I was stressed. They'll make those statements to you when you ask those questions, correct?
yes,
Okay. And tell me if this is fair. So you, after conducting the interview with Mr. Mew, you've watched the video, right?
the video of the incident,
Video of the incident?
yes,
Okay. And you agree his statements regarding how he got the knife, those are inaccurate, correct?
yes,
Okay. And you did ask Mr. Mew what his beliefs were or how he was feeling while all this was going on, correct? Do you remember that during the interview?
I guess I don't recall if I asked him how he was feeling, but he articulated that to me,
Okay, he had mentioned to you how he was feeling, true?
yes,
Okay. And would you agree that once you kind of get into the meat of the interview, first thing out of Mr. Mew's mouth is that he was acting in self-defense, right?
yes,
And he says that, if I have it right, 3 times in his first statement to you it was self-defense.
yes,
Okay. And he told you in that first portion of the interview that they were hitting him, right?
yes,
And that's true, correct? That's borne out on the video. Yes?
Objection, Your Honor. The video speaks for itself.
Sustained, is it? Sustained.
Can I ask you this? Although some of the things that Mr. Mew had talked to you about regarding how he obtained the knife, we agree that was incorrect. Would you agree, based on your interview with Mr. Mew, he never wavered in his claim it was self-defense, correct?
correct,
He never wavered in his claim that he was fearful, correct?
correct,
And he never wavered in his claim that he was attacked, correct?
correct,
If I told you, and I don't know if you've counted, I counted approximately 20 times during that interview that he claimed it was self-defense, he was fearful, or they attacked him. Sound about right?
yes,
Okay. And you've sat through, I know you weren't here yesterday because you weren't feeling well, but you've sat through the trial of every other witness other than when you weren't here, right?
yes,
Okay. And you've listened times when witnesses had to be corrected or shown something that turned out not to be true based on the video, right?
yes,
Okay. Do you have any information through your investigation that contradicts Nick Mew's belief that he was in fear during that incident?
Objection, Your Honor.
Come on up.
Oh my Lord. Please. Sorry, guys. Letting my dogs out.
The objection is sustained.
Lieutenant Hart, in terms of what had happened that day in your interview with Mr. Mew, okay, the recorded interview we just watched, he didn't make any other statements to you that would give you any reason to believe that he wasn't in fear, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Same grounds.
Overruled.
Can you ask that again?
I don't know. Based on your interview with Mr. Mew on the day in question, right? When you interviewed him on the
Yes,
tape, he told you he was in fear, yes?
he did.
Okay. Did he provide any other statements to you that would contradict that statement that he was in fear?
No,
And to be fair, he told you multiple times in that interview that he was in shock about what happened and didn't remember everything. Is that right?
correct.
Okay. And that, based on your training and experience, that wouldn't be unusual, would it?
No,
Okay. You've had that with other people who have been complaining witnesses or victims of offenses?
yes,
And have you had that with people who have been accused of crimes?
probably.
Okay. Tom, if you can answer this. So he never denied that he defended himself with a knife, correct?
Correct.
What he got wrong was how he got the knife, but he told you that he used it on other people, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And he told you other things that you actually found out to be true, right? Like he had a snorkel and goggles, right?
yes,
Okay. And you found those, not you, but your police found those, right?
yes,
Okay. So that's true, right?
yes,
He told you that he was looking for Ariel's phone, correct?
yes,
You guys found Ariel's phone, right?
yes,
Okay. He told you that people were calling him I think he says the word child molester. But it's true, people were calling him names, correct?
yes,
Okay. And I think he also told you on the tape that they were attacking me from all directions. Is that right?
he did say that.
Okay. Do you, in your investigation, do you have any evidence through interviews of witnesses or anything else that that's not correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Please approach.
Yes.
Jeez, every time I step away for like 2 seconds. It's bad noise. This guy's so full of ish. That was hard to listen to, wasn't it? Unreal.
I'll sustain the objection on foundation grounds. Mr. Trompesi, you may continue.
Lieutenant Hart, can you just give me a brief synopsis of the investigation that you've done in this case?
Yes, I interviewed Sandy.
Okay.
I interviewed Mr. Mew.
Okay.
And I coordinated the translation and transcription of Hispanic speaking statements and 911 calls.
Okay. So the investigators who have testified, you're their boss?
I'm their supervisor, yes.
Okay. In an investigation like this, do those reports pass over your desk? Do you see those?
I would say a majority of them, not all of them.
Okay. So you're aware, well, tell me if you're aware, that there has been multiple interviews conducted in this case by your investigators, right?
Yes.
Of multiple eyewitnesses or people who claim to be eyewitnesses to what has happened, right?
Yes.
And have those reports passed over your desk?
Not all of them.
Have some of them passed over your desk?
Yes.
Okay. Based on the information that you have seen, the reports that you've seen, the interviews that you've conducted, any other evidence that you've been able to look at, my question to you was, is there any evidence that contradicts the statement that Mr. Mew had made to you on that interview that he was surrounded in all directions?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, I haven't read every single report for this case.
On the stuff that you've read. I can't ask you about things you don't know. What I can ask you is on the things that you've read, the reports that you've reviewed, the interviews that you've conducted, there's nothing that contradicts his statement that he was surrounded, right?
Your Honor, I'm going to object because it's fairly against the time. There's a 3-minute period here.
Overruled. Can you answer the question?
So your question is if I've seen any of the reports that I've read.
I'm asking you if any of the evidence that you've reviewed in totality, whatever you've reviewed in the totality, okay? There's nothing in the evidence that you've reviewed, the witnesses that you've spoken to, that contradicts Nick's statement that he was surrounded when he told you that, right?
Yeah, he's the only interview I've conducted.
You've reviewed other reports though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think he said in his interview with you that he said, all I want, guys, did you find a phone? Right? You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. And through testimony you've seen and witness statements that you've read, you know Joanne Cockfield's holding a phone, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And through your investigation, you'd agree there were no little girls in that area at the time, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. So would you agree there's nothing factually in terms of evidence that you know about that would support the claim that people have said that he was looking for little girls? There were none, right?
There were none. Nope.
If you would have suspected he was impaired, would you have followed up on that?
Yes.
Okay. How? I mean, what would you, just tell me what you would have done.
Well, I probably would have applied for a search warrant for his blood.
Okay. Because that would if a person's intoxicated in this situation, in the situation that happened, this incident, knowing that would matter to you, right?
Yeah.
Just one moment, Judge.
Yes.
Guys, I just got a message that Dylan Round's remains have been found. Oh my God. I just got a message that Dylan Round's remains have been found. Oh my God. Oh, Mexi. Oh. Oh, guys. I'm going to need a minute here. I'm going to Twitter. Oh my God. I'm just going to double check this. Dylan Rounds has been found according to his family. Thank you, God. Oh my God. Hola. I've got goosebumps, Dandy. Oh my God, you guys. Get it for you? Let me see. Okay, I'm going to show it to you guys, and then I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to stop the stream briefly because this is important.
News.com. We have some breaking news to bring you right now. The body of Dylan Rounds has been found. Dylan Rounds, his remains have been found in the remote area of Lucin, Utah. Dylan is the young 19-year-old who vanished over Memorial Day weekend back in 2022. He was a farmer.
Okay.
He moved to the desert town of Lucin, Utah, which is in northern Utah, kind of near the Nevada border, when he vanished. And his family tells me that this morning his remains were found near or in Lucin in a remote area. That's all the information that we have at the moment from his family. Of course, Rounds had been missing.
Okay. I have to absorb this a little bit. I'm going to continue playing this. I just need to absorb. I think I'm going to have to, guys. I will leave this exactly where it's at, and I'll do a fast update on Dylan, okay?
Mr. Smestad.
Lieutenant Hart, as you were interviewing.
Okay. Oh my word. Oh my word. So I will see you guys really, really soon. Really soon. in the next one.